The sky above Earth turned red for 5 seconds. Then, a loud boom shook the ground. Captain Reyna stood at the edge of the forest, her boots covered in mud. She looked up. Something was falling from the sky, fast. It's not a meteor. Her soldier said, holding binoculars. It's metal, like a ship. The object hit the ground with a crash that made birds fly in all directions. Trees fell. Smoke rose. Reyna and her team ran toward the crash site, guns ready. Eyes sharp, she ordered. They reached the clearing. A silver ship, smooth, shiny, and round, sat broken in the middle. It didn't look like anything made by humans. It had no wings, no engines. Just one round door. Slowly opening, Reyna pointed her gun. Stay sharp. We don't know what's coming out. The door opened fully with a hiss. Steam spilled out. Then, footsteps. A tall figure walked out of the smoke. It was not wearing a spacesuit. No helmet, just strange black clothes tight to the body. And between its legs something large, something that didn't match the rest of its body. The soldiers stared. The alien stopped and looked around. Its skin was blue, its eyes golden. It looked calm, not scared. Not angry, then it looked straight at Reyna. "Hello, human," it said in perfect English. Its voice was deep and smooth. "Why are you acting strange?" "Is it because of the bulge between my legs?" Reyna blinked. "What?" Some soldiers looked away, confused. Others kept staring. "You can speak English?" she asked. The alien smiled. "I can speak all languages. Your minds are loud." Reyna lowered her gun slightly. "You're not here to fight?" "No, I came to talk." The alien tilted its head. "But I see your thoughts are distracted. What are you?" She asked. "I am Zelthar, a scout from the Dominion of Alarin. I came alone, peacefully, but your reactions are curious." The alien stepped closer. "Not fast, not slow, calm, graceful. I was told humans were brave, yet your eyes keep staring at one thing." Reyna frowned. "It's unusual. We don't see beings like you." Zelthar nodded. "Yes, that is the point." He looked around. "You have 10 soldiers here. None fired. Good. Maybe we can begin with peace." Reyna motioned to her team. "Hold fire. Stay alert." Suddenly, the alien touched a device on its chest. A hologram appeared in the air. A glowing map of stars. "I came with a message," Zelthar said. "A warning." Reyna stepped closer, eyes on the map. "What kind of warning?" "Something is coming. A force that eats emotion. It feeds on desire, fear, love, everything that makes you human." Reyna looked at him. "Why tell us?" "Because you are strong in spirit, but untrained. This world will fall if you do not prepare." Zelthar paused. "The bulge between my legs is not what you think. It is a device, a key. It opens something important." One soldier whispered, "A weapon?" Zelthar looked at him. "No, not a weapon, a test." Reyna asked, "A test for what?" "To see if your kind is ready to fight back." The forest went quiet. Even the wind stopped for a moment. Reyna stared at the alien's eyes. Golden, deep, unreadable. "Why us?" she asked. "Why Earth?" Zelthar turned to the sky. "Because your ancestors called out a long time ago. You forgot, but we didn't." The soldiers exchanged nervous looks. One of them whispered, "This is crazy." Zelthar smiled again. "You are not crazy. Just young, but you will learn." Suddenly, a sound came from the ship, a low hum. The alien turned. "Others are watching now," he said. "They want to see how you treat a visitor, how you treat the unknown." Reyna looked at the glowing map again. "So, what happens next?" Zelthar looked back at her. "Next you decide. Will you treat me as a threat or as a warning?" Reyna lowered her gun all the way. "We'll listen, for now." The alien nodded. "Good, then I will show you what lies ahead." But as he walked back to the ship to bring something out, his bulge glowed bright red. Reyna stepped back. "What is that?" Zelthar looked down. "Ah, you're not ready for that part yet." And then he smiled. The room was dark, silent, and cold. Captain Reyna watched through the thick glass as the alien, Zelthar, stood alone under the white lights of the research chamber. His eyes were closed. He hadn't moved in hours, but the bulge between his legs was glowing again. "Why does it do that?" whispered Dr. Levin, the base's top xenobiologist. "It's not organic, it's something else." Reyna didn't answer. She couldn't stop watching either. Zelthar's body was smooth, almost like marble. No veins, no sweat, no weakness. But that bulge, it pulsed with a strange red light. Not like a machine. Not like flesh, something in between. Suddenly, Zelthar opened his eyes, golden and sharp. He looked straight at the glass window. Reyna stepped back. "I felt that," Zelthar said through the intercom. His voice echoed in the observation room. "You were thinking again, Captain." Reyna forced herself to speak. "We're studying your biology," Zelthar smiled. "That is not what you were studying." Dr. Levin stepped forward. "We ran scans. You're not like us. You have no bones, no blood. Your organs are floating, changing shape." Zelthar nodded. "Yes, our bodies shift to match the minds around us." "What does that mean?" Reyna asked. "It means," Zelthar said, stepping toward the glass, "your thoughts shape what I am." The room fell silent. "You are looking at a version of me, built by your curiosity," he continued. "And that bulge you fear? It grows when your thoughts are strongest." Dr. Levin swallowed hard. "So it's not a weapon?" "Oh, it can be," Zelthar said, "if your minds make it one." Reyna stared at him. "You're saying we're creating that thing with our own thoughts?" "Yes, it is a mirror, a test, a doorway." "A doorway to what?" "To power," he said calmly, "or destruction. It depends on what you desire." Reyna turned to Levin. "Shut down the lights. I want to see what happens in total darkness." The room dimmed. The chamber went black and suddenly, the bulge lit up like a red star. Reyna's chest tightened. Something was moving inside it. Like wires, like nerves, like it was alive. Then the glass began to crack. "Turn the lights back on," she shouted. As the lights returned, the glow faded. The glass stopped cracking. The bulge returned to its dull, harmless form. Zelthar tilted his head. Curious reaction. Light weakens it. Darkness feeds it. Fear excites it. "What is it feeding on?" Dr. Levin asked. Zelthar smiled. "You." Reyna stepped forward. "You said you came with a warning. Start talking." "Enough games." The alien walked to the middle of the room and sat cross-legged. The bulge glowed dimly now, pulsing like a heartbeat. "I came because your world is close to awakening. You are emotional creatures, passionate, wild. You do not control your thoughts." "So?" Reyna asked. "So there is something coming. A force that feeds on uncontrolled minds. It hunts passion. It seduces weakness. If you do not master yourselves, you will lose everything." Reyna crossed her arms. "What does your device have to do with that?" "This," Zelthar said, pointing down, "is the key to focus, to resistance. If you can face this without fear, without shame, without giving in, then you are ready." Dr. Levin shook his head. "This is insane." "You're saying this glowing alien crotch is our final exam?" Zelthar laughed. "In simple words, yes." Reyna didn't laugh. She was still watching it. And she felt something strange, not fear, not desire. Something deeper. Challenged. She looked up. "So how do we pass?" Zelthar stood. "You begin by watching, then by feeling, and then by not reacting." He placed his hand on the wall. A small blue light spread out like water. A door opened inside the chamber. Come in, Captain. Face it up close. Dr. Levin grabbed her arm. Don't go in there. We don't know what it'll do. Reyna looked at the alien. Calm, still, waiting. She took a deep breath and stepped through the door. The moment she entered, the door closed alone. Now face to face with Zelthar. The glow began again, but this time it wasn't just red dot, it was alive. Captain Reyna woke up gasping. She wasn't in the lab anymore. She was floating all around her darkness. No walls, no ceiling, no floor. Just black space and a soft red glow below her. It was coming from him. Zelthar stood calmly in the center of the darkness. His body lit only by the pulsing red light between his legs. The glow wasn't steady now. It was growing, beating like a second heart. You are inside the chamber of thought, he said, his voice calm and deep. This is not your world. This is mine. Reyna tried to move, but her feet touched nothing. She was suspended in nothingness. Her body floated, but her mind raced. Why am I here? She asked. To show you what your kind will face. Zelthar said. The glow grew brighter. And then it opened. The bulbs split apart like petals of a flower, revealing not flesh but light. Inside it, a core of pure energy. It was spinning. It looked like a tiny sun, but it was alive. Reyna stared. It was beautiful, terrible, powerful. What is that? She whispered. It is the weapon within, Zelthar answered. The last gift of my people. A power that can heal planets. Or erase them. Reyna felt heat on her face. Her heartbeat slowed. Her mind felt strange, like it was being pulled. It's calling to me. Yes, Zelthar said. Because it knows you are human, emotional, weak, and maybe strong. Reyna clenched her fists. If it's that dangerous, why carry it between your legs? Because that is where your species looks first. It is a mirror, a challenge, a joke, and a lesson. Suddenly, the light dimmed, and the darkness around them shattered like glass. Reyna fell. She landed hard, back in the lab. The door burst open. Alarms blared. Dr. Levin rushed in, shouting, Captain! The scans went crazy. You vanished for 3 minutes. Your heart stopped. Reyna coughed. I wasn't gone. I was inside him. Inside the energy. Levin stared. Inside the what? Then they both turned. Zelthar was no longer glowing. He was sitting quietly, breathing slowly. But the wall behind him was cracked deep. Sharp cracks running outward from where he had been sitting. As if something exploded, without sound, Reyna stood up slowly. It's not a weapon like a gun. It's alive. It thinks. Levin backed away. Captain, that thing, it's not just alien. It's impossible. Zelthar opened his eyes. You have seen a piece of it. You survived. That means you're ready for the next part, Reyna asked. Which is? Another is coming. What do you mean, another? Zelthar turned toward the glass wall. I was not the only one sent to test humanity. Suddenly, the lights in the base flickered. The floor shook. Outside, something crashed into the ground. Another ship. Smaller. Sleeker. Darker. Soldiers ran to the windows. Smoke rose from the trees. The new ship opened slowly. A figure walked out, taller than Zelthar, covered in dark silver armor. Its eyes glowed green, and its bulge was massive, even from a distance. The glow pulsed like a heartbeat. Zelthar stood. His face was serious now. He carries a stronger core, but not one of peace. He comes to judge you differently. Reyna grabbed her gun. What's his name? Zelthar said only one word, executioner. Asterisk. The air changed. It wasn't just the wind, it was pressure. Heavy. Cold. Captain Reyna stepped outside the base. She could barely breathe. Something in the sky felt wrong, thick, like the planet itself, was holding its breath. Then she saw him, the second alien. He walked through smoke like a shadow given shape. His skin was dark silver, like steel melted into flesh. His eyes glowed green. His steps didn't leave footprints. He wasn't walking, he was gliding. But the most terrifying thing was the bulged dot. It wasn't just big, it was humming. Glowing green, spinning slowly, like it had gears inside. The soldiers stared, frozen. Their hands shook. A few dropped their weapons without knowing why. "He's not here to talk," Zelthar said from behind Reyna. Reyna didn't turn. She whispered, "Then why is he here?" "To test Earth in a different way." No more questions. No more warnings. She asked, "What's his name again?" "Executioner," Zelthar said. "He destroys weak species." Executioner stopped 20 feet away. He looked at Reyna. "You let your people stare," he said in a low, rough voice. "You have already failed." Reyna tried to speak, but her throat went dry. Executioner raised his hand. A wave of invisible force hit the soldiers. Several dropped to the ground shaking, some screamed. Others went silent, eyes wide in shock. "He's using their thoughts against them," Zelthar said. They looked at his bulge. They gave in. Reyna shouted, "Stop this!" Executioner tilted his head. "You want to fight?" Reyna raised her weapon. "If I have to." Zelthar stepped forward. "She doesn't need a weapon." He turned to her. "You need training." Before Reyna could respond, the world vanished again. She was somewhere else again. But this time, it wasn't Dark Dot. She was standing in a giant white room, a training chamber. Walls of light, floor of crystal. Floating around her were strange orbs, mirrors, and screens showing her own memories. Zelthar stood beside her. "To prepare Earth, we must prepare you. If you pass, others may follow." Reyna turned. "What's the test?" Zelthar pointed to a mirror. "Look without reacting. Feel without losing control." She stepped forward. In the mirror she saw herself. Then the image shifted. She saw herself staring at the bulge, blushing, weak. "Every time you let it distract you, it wins," Zelthar said. "Every time your body reacts, the enemy grows stronger." Suddenly, the executioner's face appeared in the mirror. Laughing, watching, Reyna clenched her jaw. "I'm not afraid." "Then prove it." The floor lit up. Dozens of mirrors appeared, each showing a different fear, a different weakness. Some showed desire. Some showed pain. Some showed memories Reyna had never told anyone. A voice echoed in the chamber. "Humans cannot control themselves. You are meat. You are emotion. You are prey." Reyna screamed back, "No, we are more than that." Suddenly, her reflection changed. Now it was her, but glowing. A red pulse formed at her core. Not between her legs. Inside her chest. She placed her hand there. It burned, but didn't hurt. Zelthar smiled. "Yes, now you see it. The true core," Reyna whispered, "is inside us." Suddenly she was back. The base. The soldiers. Executioner. But now, something had changed. Reyna walked toward Executioner. Slowly, fearlessly. His bulge glowed green. But her chest glowed red. Executioner paused. "You unlocked it?" he asked, for the first time sounding unsure. Reyna stood tall. "I didn't look away. I didn't run. I didn't fall." She raised her hand. The red light expanded from her chest. The ground around her cracked. Zelthar whispered, "She's doing it. She's bending the energy to her will." Executioner took a step back. Reyna smiled. "You wanted Earth to fail? Watch us fight." Private Kim was smiling when they found her, but her eyes were empty. She sat in the hallway, staring at nothing, her hands gently touching her own body, like she was remembering a dream. Her breathing was slow. Too slow. "She's the third one today," whispered Dr. Levin. Captain Reyna knelt beside Kim and waved a hand in front of her face. No response. Only a soft whisper from her lips. It felt So good. Reyna stood, fists tight. What's happening to them? Zelthar stood in the shadows. His eyes were dim now, tired, heavy. They're falling into the pleasure trap. What is it? It's a field, unseen, unheard. It grows stronger every time someone gives in to desire, fear, hunger, lust, even curiosity. Reyna turned toward him. Is the executioner doing this? No, Zelthar said. You are. Reyna froze. What? Humans are feeding. The trap. You look at the bulge. You wonder. You react. That reaction powers the field. It loops, grows, and eventually. He pointed at Kim. It wins. Reyna looked around. 2 more soldiers were now sitting against the wall. Blank stares. Smiling faces. And then she felt it. A warmth, soft, gentle, creeping up her spine. It felt like being loved. Like being wanted. Like everything was okay, even when it wasn't. Reyna stumbled backward. No, not me too. It's not just a weapon, Zelthar said. It's a comfort. That's what makes it deadly. Suddenly, alarms rang. We've got movement, a voice shouted over the radio. The executioner is inside the base. Reyna ran to the control room. On the security screens, she saw him. Executioner walked calmly through the halls. Any human who looked at him froze, smiled, collapsed. He wasn't killing them. He was collecting them. Each person fed the field. And it spread like a fog. Reyna slammed her fist on the table. How do we stop this? Zelthar stepped beside her. You fight it from within. I already did your training. He shook his head. You passed the first door. But there's one more. Reyna turned. Another one? He looked into her eyes. You must walk into the trap and not lose yourself. You want me to let it take me? No, I want you to ride it. Feel everything and not break. That is how you lead. Reyna didn't hesitate. Where do I start? Where the field is strongest. She looked at the map. It pulsed like a heartbeat. The source was in the old medbay. Deep underground. Reyna headed there alone. As she walked, she heard voices, whispers, echoes of her past. A soft voice said, "You're not enough." Another. One said, "You wanted to look at him too. You liked it." She gritted her teeth. Not today. The doors to the medbay slid open. Inside. The room was glowing. Soft green and red lights pulsed along the walls. The air smelled sweet, like flowers. Floating in the center of the room was a small orb. It looked like the executioner's bulge miniature, but alive. It called to her. Reyna stepped forward. Suddenly, her vision blurred. She saw herself dancing, laughing, naked in someone's arms. She felt warm lips on her neck, soft fingers on her skin, and then she remembered, this isn't real. She opened her eyes and screamed, I am more than pleasure. The lights burst. The orb cracked. And across the base, the fog began to fade. The soldiers blinked, woke up, looked around, confused. In the medbay, Reyna collapsed, breathing hard. Zelthar entered slowly. You walked into the core of the trap and returned. Reyna looked up at him. I didn't return alone, she said. In her hand was the broken orb, still glowing red. Asterisk, no one saw the second moon appear. It wasn't there the night before, but now, above Earth, a black shape hung in the sky. Perfectly round, silent, not reflecting light. Eating it. Captain Reyna stared at it through the command center's main screen. It's not a ship, whispered Dr. Levin. It's a mouth. Suddenly, static filled every radio channel. Voice slow and cold cut through the noise. You unlocked the core. You fed the trap. Now, we feed. Reyna clenched her fists. They're here. The enemy, the ones Zelthar warned about. Creatures that fed on thought, desire, emotion. They didn't want war. They wanted weakness. Zelthar appeared at her side, his face darker now. His golden eyes no longer calm, They come between worlds, he said. Between thoughts, between your fears. Reyna turned to him. Can we fight them? You can't fight them with weapons, he said. You must resist them with clarity, with will, with truth. Reyna looked back at the screen. Black shapes were falling from the sky, silent, shadowy creatures. No form, no faces. Just long limbs and hungry mouths. Soldiers ran outside, opened fire, but their bullets passed through. One soldier shouted, "It's like they're not even here." They exist in your minds first, Zelthar said. They feed before they kill. Then, Reyna noticed something horrifying wherever the creatures walked. People followed them, smiling, laughing, walking into their own death, as if they wanted to be eaten. They're seducing our minds, she whispered. Exactly, Zelthar said. This is the final test. Can you face them without falling? Reyna turned to him. What about the core? Zelthar placed a hand over his own bulge. It glowed, but dimmer now. The core is nearly empty, but you carry one now too. Reyna touched her chest. The red glow inside her heart pulsed again. It's inside me, she whispered. You resisted pleasure. You passed the trap. Now you must use that power against fear. He pointed toward the black sky. You must enter the enemy's mind. Reyna's voice cracked. Alone? Zelthar nodded. Yes, because only you are still clean. The others have looked too long, touched too much. Dr. Levin rushed into the room. Captain, the shadows are whispering names. My name, your name. They know us. Reyna stepped forward. Then I'm going to show them mine means something. She walked to the open deck. Above her, the second moon opened. Not a planet, not a machine, a massive living eye. It looked straight at her. And from the sky, a beam of dark light shot down and pulled her in. She didn't scream. She let it take her. She awoke inside something that felt like a dream and a nightmare at once. There were no walls, just feelings, guilt, desire, regret, hunger, shame. They crawled on her skin like ants. Voices whispered in her ear, you are soft. You are human. You are ours. But in her chest, the red glow pulsed stronger. She remembered the training. She remembered not looking. She remembered who she was. And she screamed not in fear, but in defiance. The glow exploded. A pulse of red light shot out of her body, burning away the voices, melting the shadows. The enemy shrieked. Their forms twisted, cracked, and shattered. Above Earth, the second moon cracked like glass. Back at the base, soldiers looked up. It's breaking, Dr. Levin whispered. She's doing it, Zelthar smiled. She didn't just resist. She answered back. In the sky, Reyna floated in the final piece of darkness. One shadow creature still stood before her, larger than the others, wearing a fake human face. It whispered, why do you fight what feels good? Reyna answered with a smirk, because we're human, and we don't break easy. The last pulse left her chest and shattered the last shadow. Asterisk. The stars were silent again. The second moon was gone, shattered like glass. But Earth was not the same. Every human who had looked too long, felt too much, or fallen into the pleasure trap was waking up. Eyes opened. Chests rose. Minds cleared. Reyna stood alone on the smoking battlefield, her armor torn, her chest still glowing with the red pulse of willpower. She looked up at the sky, now filled with light. We survived, she thought. But that wasn't the miracle. We changed. Back at the base, Zelthar stood at the center of a circle of soldiers. He looked different now, older, wiser, even tired. His bulge no longer glowed, because it didn't have to. You passed, he said. Quietly. Dr. Levin stared in disbelief. We actually passed? Zelthar nodded. You faced the enemy, not with force, but with clarity, focus, resistance. He looked at Reyna as she stepped into the room. The test wasn't about the bulge, he said. Everyone turned to him. It was never about the glow, the shape, or the reaction. It was about what you do when something tries to control you. Reyna crossed her arms. So we weren't being seduced. We were being measured. Yes, Zelthar said. And you were not expected to win. He looked toward the stars. No other species has. Most give in, some fight, but all fall. Reyna asked, then why test us? Because someone once told us Earth was different, that humans were wild. He paused. Wild, emotional, stubborn. But strong. Levin stepped forward. So what now? You leave? That's it. Zelthar shook his head. No. Now, we offer you a choice. A circle of light appeared in the floor. Inside it, a map of stars. Dozens of glowing dots. Each dot is a world on the edge of invasion. The enemy spreads like thought fast. Invisible, Reyna understood. You want us to fight? No, Zelthar said. We want you to teach. Reyna raised an eyebrow. Teach what? He smiled. How to resist. She laughed. You mean you want us to go out there and help other species pass your weird glowing bulge test? Zelthar nodded seriously. Yes, but it won't be my bulge anymore. The core is now yours. Reyna looked down at her chest. The glow was still there, quiet now, but alive. I didn't ask for this, she said. No one ever does, Zelthar replied. That's why it works. A silence fell over the room. Then one soldier stepped forward. I'll go. Another raised his hand. Me too. Reyna looked around at them. These weren't just soldiers now. They were survivors. Carriers of something. Ancient, dangerous, powerful. She looked at Zelthar. What do we call ourselves? He smiled. You are the first humans to pass the final test. You are the line between freedom and control. You are... He paused, then said, with a grin, Humanity F***, yeah. ***, Reyna turned to her team. Gear up, we've got worlds to wake up. The lights dimmed, the portal opened. The stars called Dot and Earth, for the first time in galactic history, sent its willpower into the dark.